put it word for word. We're just talking about the story here. If it turns out that that's true, what he's saying is true, then I believe I'm sorry. If you make an accusation like that against any person and try and take away basically their livelihood and put them behind bars, because that is what I think the outcome of something like that should be. You shouldn't get a second chance. There's just mandatory time in jail to go try and think about yourself a little bit. Try and get yourself straight a little bit. You just can't do that. Either way, whichever side of that story is true, it will come out eventually. Either way, it's not good news. It's not good news for the Cowboys. It's not good news for Ezekiel Elliott. This is not a case of all news is good news or all press is good press. My name in the press is being good press because you're talking about me. You can't have that with this. You can't have, in my opinion, Jacksonville going out to try and even give Greg Hardy a chance and bring him in. He hasn't shown remorse. Why? Because now he's scared he's going to miss a paycheck? What did he do in Dallas? Did he show any way that he could control his temper or that he was a different person than what was being reported? Now, we don't know the whole story. The only people who do is that woman and him. But based on the story that we know, man, I'm telling you, if his incident was on video like Ray Rice's, we wouldn't even be talking about Greg Hardy right now based on what we know. We might not be talking about Ezekiel Elliott. It's a little weird, and I don't condone Ray Rice's actions whatsoever. Let me put that out there first. But I don't agree with the fact that just because there's a video of what he did, it makes it any worse than what some of these other guys are doing. You can't just say, oh, because I saw it, I feel differently. You either condone it or you don't. That's something you draw the line in the sand on. That's something the NFL needs to draw a line in the sand on. And it's something there needs to be, here's the punishment from the commissioner's office. This is what the NFL's stance is. This is the business side of it. You will lose 16 games. You will be an unrestricted free agent. Your former team will have no salary cap penalties because of it. And if a team picks you up or gives you a chance, that will be the only way after a year out that you can get back in the league. And to that team, hey, you're going to take on whatever comes with that, whatever kind of protests or whatever kind of negative publicity that would come with that for however long until the people decided to forget and cheer again. It wouldn't be my team. I wouldn't want it to be the Lions. Moving on. Third down. Here's another troubled guy. Been having trouble. Rumored, he's Manziel's boy there in Cleveland. You've seen them partying together or hanging out or going places. Josh Gordon met with Commish this week to discuss his reinstatement from his now little over year-long suspension. And reportedly, there will be no decision made on Mr. Gordon until at least the beginning of this season. Meaning the league is not impressed with what's going on with Josh Gordon and the decisions he's making yet. With the chances these players have to prove themselves or show change through organizations that will reach out to them so that they could then use their name in somehow in marketing, or the list of doctors that you can get from the league or I'm sure a team who could help you with substance abuse. It's amazing these guys with so much talent can't take enough time away from their addiction, let's say, from their issue, from their problem, to see what's going on, to see what they're losing, to see in the long run the kind of scar that Josh Gordon's going to have from eventually losing football altogether because he couldn't get this under control, because that urge was stronger than the need to find help to be better, or the fear of what if I can't do it without these things. And hey, he's not the only one. We've heard too many stories of professional athletes and NFL players being involved in PED violations. John Jones and Brock Lesnar apparently both were flagged for the same drug at UFC 200. Not good news. That means there's most likely a bunch of UFC fighters who are doing whatever cycle that those two tried to get away with. Le'Veon Bell, the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's out for another couple games because he's reportedly missed multiple tests, which is an instant fail in the NFL. You don't actually have to go in the cup. If you don't show up when you're supposed to be there and produce a sample, or when they come to find you wherever you're supposed to be and you can't produce a sample, that's a failed test. Now, in some cases, you could be like, look, I was on a safari, or I was in Antarctica, or I'm in the middle of nowhere, we need to reschedule, and they'll do that. But for the most part, if you're in the program, you got to do what you got to do. Johnny Manziel, I don't know if you guys saw the picture of him looking like a skeleton half dead, and then he said he's going to come back because the story can't end this way. These guys don't get it. They're missing the fame. They're missing the money. Get yourself right and then come. But your talent's there. You still know the game as well as you ever did. Get yourself straight. Show you're good and then come back. Don't put your fans and these teams and yourself through all this nonsense so you can be out there in the media still getting money to feed your problem, your issue. Step away from the limelight. Don't go out and make a rap CD asking for $15 million a season. Don't go with Manziel or Gordon on a private plane to go party somewhere. If you have to, cut people off. Find what your priorities are. If your priorities are partying and having fun, by all means, go do that. Be that person. But that can't be your priority if you're a professional athlete. If you're an athlete, period, it hurts your performance. Josh Gordon could be probably the best receiver in the league. He was putting up crazy numbers before he got suspended. On the Browns. Okay, they didn't have an all-world quarterback. They didn't have an all-pro quarterback. They didn't have a Pro Bowl quarterback. They haven't had a consistent quarterback since Bernie Kosar. And he was putting up crazy numbers. So I would love nothing more than for all of these guys to just figure their stuff out and be done with it. Go play some good ball. Give me something to talk about. Give the fans something exciting to watch and make your money. Then when you retire, if you want to go back to that because you just have to, by all means, you've grown. Do what you got to do. But make some priorities. Get the help. Don't be scared to ask for help. Don't be the typical male athlete, macho guy who is too scared to put his hand out and say, you know what, I'm having a problem. Go out there and get your self-help, guys. Get these things fixed. Fourth down. Here we go. 49ers. Wow. Once great 49ers. The once great, the once promising 49ers are now the hard-fought, what's going on 49ers from top to bottom. I don't know what's going on with that team. I don't know what's going on with that front office. I don't get it. I'm not seeing it. Now we're coming out this week. You got Alex Boone saying Blaine Gabbert's a better choice at quarterback. He's going to be the starter moving forward. You got the team saying, yeah, maybe Gabbert's the way we're going to go. This is the same Blaine Gabbert who came out of Missouri, drafted by Jacksonville, and couldn't play NFL football, who is now making Colin Kaepernick, who took the 49ers to a Super Bowl, who is a blackout away from winning a Super Bowl. Really, they were going to beat the Ravens in that game until the blackout happened. Until Ray Lewis's miracle happened. And now you got a Kaepernick who, again, he's looking like a skeleton. He hasn't been in the gym. These injuries and maybe the mental part of dealing with the business side of this game are taking a toll on him. Because he's looking like he's falling apart. How do you fall behind Blaine Gabbert? Really? Blaine Gabbert is beating you out. He's got more ability on a football field than you do. And really, 49ers, you're going to pay Colin Kaepernick $12 million to be your backup? You should have sent him to Denver 6 months ago. You should have figured out a way to pay a chunk of his salary this year, sign and trade, or something to where he's not on the roster anymore. Because now all you're going to have a couple of guys who just are hearing footsteps. The whole season, they're going to be wondering, is it my turn yet? Is he going to take me out this week? And the fans are going to go crazy about it too. Because not only are the players going to have footsteps in the back of their head, they're going to be hearing that guy behind them creeping up because of all the different storylines that are going to come out of this. Because of what Colin Kaepernick was able to do under Jim Harbaugh with that offense. And how it fell apart for him after Harbaugh left when they really just tried to not do what he was good at anymore. Instead of coaching a player and getting the best out of his abilities, they tried to change him into a different player and have him run a different system, which is, again, what's going on with the 49ers? They used to get guys who fit a system. Now they're trying to get guys and make them fit into a system instead of getting the guys who fit the system. Colin Kaepernick was not a true West Coast guy. He would have been good in Gary Kubiak's version of the West Coast offense. I honestly believe that. If he was motivated and still wanted to play, which I'm not sure he does. If he's being beaten out by Blaine Gabbert, I'm not so sure he wants to play for San Francisco. He just didn't want to give up his money. Which is a sad thing, because there again, we're talking about priorities. And his was not to be a starting quarterback in the NFL or play football. He didn't want to give up $12 million this year. He had already given up money for that team to re-sign guys that were supposed to be on that offense, like Frank Gore and Anquan Bolden. And they walked in free agency. So I'm sure, there's stuff going on there. They got to get it figured out because that's a great organization. But wow, Blaine Gabbert beating out currently Colin Kaepernick for the starting quarterback role there in San Francisco. That's unbelievable to me. And fifth down. The down that doesn't count, but we're going to put it in anyway. So I'm reading reports today. NBC Sports has got it out. A couple other affiliates have a report out about how Tom Brady can't have any contact during his 4-game suspension. Really? Really? That's news to you? You couldn't find something better to write about? That was the news you came out with. That is what a suspension means. They have been saying that when players got suspended, as long as players have been suspended, that they can't be at the facility, they can't be at practice, they can't be in the meeting rooms, they can't have the playbook for that week. If they go to the game, they have to buy a ticket. They can't be on the sideline. We know this. This is not information. This is not news. You're just using somebody's name to fill a web page or a paper. It's silly. It's bad reporting. It's bad sports. Don't be that person. Be better than that. Come on now. After the break, we're going to come back. We're going to finish out today's show with some headlines, some other sports stuff that we haven't quite gotten to this week, or maybe, we just want to touch back on it. Hey guys, the NFL season is almost here. And you know what that means? Fantasy football is right around the corner. Did you win your fantasy league last year? Would you like to win some extra money playing in a daily fantasy football this season? If so, the DirtCannon.com is here to help. You can get numbers and projections anywhere. But if you want to build a winner for a full season fantasy team, or just looking to win consistently in daily games, then do what I did and join the DirtCannon.com. They have it all in one place, fellas. Whether a bronze member or a silver, they will hook you up. I recommend the silver package. Starting today for the silver package, use my code RDST and you will get a customized 2016 NFL Draft Kit, Draft Day Intelligence, and access to their award-winning lineup analyzer with expert insight and analysis. So win your league, make some money, and take home the bragging rights with the DirtCannon.com. And use Real Deal Sports Talk's promo code RDST. And for the first month, with my code RDST. Get $4.99 off the first month of